Hi, my name is Elliot Fishbein, owner and director of Connected Functional Manual Therapy, and welcome to this month's video blog. So our topic for this month is what happens when you're exercising and you're working on certain fitness goals and you're not getting the results you want, meaning you're either not getting improved strength, you're not getting improved function, or you're not reducing pain, depending on what your goal is. So from the functional manual therapy approach, we break efficient function down into 3 categories. And what those categories are mechanical capacity, neuromuscular control, and motor control. And so let's talk about what each one of those things is and how you can add that piece to your exercise program to help enhance it and hopefully help you get over that hump. So the first thing is mechanical capacity. So essentially what mechanical capacity means is the ability to have flexibility of your connective tissues, your fascia, your joints, and your muscles. So that way you can actually use your muscles more effectively. An example of, for an obvious example of how mechanical capacity can affect strength and function is if your elbow only bent this far, okay, and you wanted to get a big bicep. So if your elbow only goes this far, and you try to strengthen your bicep, you're never going to develop it fully because you can't go through your full range of motion. So what you would need to do is you would need to do exercises that are geared to kind of loosen some of the fascial tissues, to lengthen some of the muscles, and to mobilize those joints so that way you could actually then get through that full range of motion so you could build strength and get your desired result, which in this case is a big bicep. But that can hold true for any part of your body, where if you lack flexibility and you're trying to strengthen there, you have to actually incorporate an element of flexibility so that way you can achieve those ranges of motion to better access those muscles and get them strong. So that's mechanical capacity. The second thing we would look at is neuromuscular control. So neuromuscular control is more about creating an efficient, stable responsiveness in those muscles when you go to use them, so your contraction is more effective, and that way you're more likely to strengthen and strengthen quicker. An example of a neuromuscular control exercise is sort of a plank, okay? You put yourself in a challenging position and you just hold it there and stabilize it. When you're doing this, what you're really trying to do, in addition to work different, kind of muscle fiber types that are more there for endurance, but you're not just doing that, you're actually getting a connection between your brain and kind of efficient, effective ways of stabilizing those joints. So a lot of times when you're doing a plank, you're not just doing it for 5 seconds, you're holding it for 30 seconds, 60 seconds, a few minutes. And what you're trying to do is not just strengthen those muscles, but also strengthen that imprint in your brain of how to stabilize your shoulder, your trunk, your hips, your pelvis. And so it's important that you do that because you are then going to establish those efficient patterns of how to stabilize. So when you go to do more advanced things like squatting or lifting, that actually you have that stability underlying it, it will also help you get a more effective contraction of your mover muscles. Okay, so that's neuromuscular control. Our third phase that we're going to look at is motor control. And for this, we would look at both things like posture and how you hold yourself and postural habits, but we're not going to talk about that for now. More what we would talk about in this phase is talking about strengthening, so building strength and endurance. So you've got the mechanical flexibility, you've got your neuromuscular control, so you've got a good efficient contraction and stability in those joints. Now you're going to start doing things where you're doing repetitions and you're trying to build your strength, endurance, coordination by doing those repetitions. And again, if you're trying to build strength, you would do those repetitions until you felt fatigue. If you're trying to build endurance, you would do the same. It would just be slightly different and you'd be doing it longer before you hit that fatigue. And if you're trying to build coordination, it's just about feeling smoother and easier as you do it. But in order to do that, a lot of times people will only do this step. They'll be trying to do strength and endurance, but they won't have that underlying mechanical capacity or neuromuscular capacity, so they don't get it as effectively. But conversely, if you're somebody who just works out and all you do is all flexibility and you're just on the foam roller trying to lengthen things out or stretching, but you're not doing those neuromuscular exercises to stabilize, and you're not doing those strength exercises, things that really challenge you and make you kind of fatigue and maybe get you a little muscle sore or something like that, you're not going to get the full desired effect and ability to have your full function unless you have an element of all 3 of those components in there. Next month's video blog, we'll talk about also the effect that diet and inflammation can have on your ability to achieve your goals with exercise. So join us then. We'll see you then, and take care.